Hello, my name is Eileen Giordino, and I'm here today to talk to you about Wiggins and McTighe's Six Facets of Understanding. They are application, empathy, explanation, interpretation, perspective, and self-knowledge. Now, the first facet that I will be talking about is application. Application is the ability to apply knowledge and skill in diverse situations with the knowledge that is acquired in a lesson. This also provides important evidence of the learner's understanding. Now, this can be seen in my lesson entitled What is Harmony? And I was explaining to students how harmony is different than a melody in that it accompanies a melody and it helps what the melody is doing. So in order to do that, I had them build chords. Through my explanation, they were able to build these chords using cellophane. You can't really see it in the footage that I have, but I have some cellophane with me here right now. So for example, for a one chord, they put do over a white piece of paper, and they put me over do, and they put so over me. So you can kind of see it, do, mi, so. And for a four chord, they took the yellow cellophane that said fa at the bottom, followed by la over it. Okay, so that's how they built the chord. And then for five, they took so, and then they put T over it, T, and re. So basically at the end, the understanding that they had of the chords was the purple party scene was a one chord in the context of C major. And then the green leafy scene was a four chord. It doesn't really look green in this light, but I promise it did in the classroom. And they had Valentine's Day explosion for five. So with this, they applied their knowledge into their compositions using 1, 4, and 5. The next facet of understanding that I will be talking about is called empathy. Empathy is defined as the ability to view the world or grasp the world from someone else's point of view. Now, empathy is different from perspective. Perspective requires the person to take a look at somebody else's world from a distance. Empathy really requires one to use one's imagination to step into the person's shoes. So in my Der Erlkönig lesson, students were asked to pick a clip from a scary movie, and they were asked to compose their own music to their scary scene. Now, there was evidence of empathy in their final projects. Students accurately portrayed the characters' feelings in a scene through their music. They composed using mixed craft and accurately portrayed the characters' feelings in the scene, and they were able to empathize with their character and step into their shoes. The third facet of understanding is explanation. Now, explanation requires a person with understanding to explain why it is so, not just reciting the facts that the teacher has fed them before. Explanation can be seen in the following clip, where a group of students explain why a certain chord is what it is. In my explanation to them about chord inversions, we played a game, That's My Chord, and they were to explain the notes of the chord the letter name of the chord, the Roman numeral name of the chord, the function of the chord, and the chord's inversion.
Alright, scene 2.
What's the name of the
Okay,
chord?
what's the letter B?
C.
Right? Okay. What are the notes in the chord?
C and G.
What is the chord's harmonic function? Yes. Yes. We're in the context of C major, yes. And which inversion?
It's the root.
Yes. Excellent.
The next facet of understanding is interpretation. Interpretation is the ability to find significance in some material and the ability to make your own story of it after you have understanding of the material. Now this can be seen in my classical composers and sonata form lesson. After students found information around the room about their composers using a people search, which is also a Bill Meyer strategy, people search, except I adapted it for composer search, find someone who. Here's a clip of the instructions.
Here is, we're going to break up into groups, and you're going to come up with a 32 count movement or a skit or something that represents the life of one composer. I don't know, if I was to do a movement on the life of Mozart, I would maybe have a main theme be him composing really quickly, and just being like, okay, I'm done. And then transition into maybe him performing, because performing is really different from composing, and then have him transition back into composing again. Now, this doesn't have to be a dance, where it's like, oh, Mozart. No. You can just be creative. Use the different people in your group as props. You're allowed to use anything in the room. If you were to use your classmates as a table, have like two of them like on all fours, and then have Mozart. Because when we're all done choreographing all of this, we're going to perform for one another.
This example of interpretation is also an example of student-centered constructivism because they made their own interpretations of composers rather than me just telling them what the composers were like. Perspective is another facet of understanding according to Wiggins and McTighe. Perspective requires a student to step away from the situation and analyze it without their feelings getting involved. And it also requires students to have the ability to see other plausible points of view. Now, after these skits were performed in class, I had students analyze their classmates' performances. Did their performances accurately portray sonata form? Did the main theme occur in the exposition and reappear in the recapitulation? These were some questions for them to think about. So this was a chance for students to give each other healthy criticism and to analyze what could have been done better and what was done well. The last facet of understanding that I will be talking about is self-knowledge. When these skits were performed and they were already analyzed from another perspective, I had students make a literacy connection and journal about their performance. In these journals, it was revealed to me how students were aware of what they knew and what they did not know. This way, their ways of thinking were organized in a way that they can clarify what they do not understand, and essentially, they were able to shape their understanding. In Wiggins and McTighe's book, Understanding by Design, the 6 facets covered also in this video were application, empathy, explanation, interpretation, perspective, and self-knowledge. Thanks for watching.